Good evening, everybody. We took a week off, but we're here again. Welcome to season 2 of Momversations. Hey, everybody. Hey, I think this is live, but as you come on, just come on and say, hey, howdy, how you doing? But we're going to get started. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the second season of Momversations. I am so honored to have another guest on this week. Again, for those who are tuning in for the first time who are like, what in the world is this? Why is Retha on the camera again? Because I have my passion project. I am still continuing on. It's called Momversations. And let me tell you a little bit about what Momversations is. I am your host, Aretha Scruggs, and Momversations really is my passion. It brings my two passions together. It is a show where we hear real life stories from incredible moms making waves in our world, from entertainers, people in entertainment, to entrepreneurs and more. You are now joining the Momversation, where we're really talking about what does it look like for all the moms, fathers, parents, even aunties, those out there who are taking care of little ones, especially during this time of quarantine. What does it look like? This is why I did it. What does it look like to answer the question of wanting to be a passionate parent, a passionate mother, a passionate father, but also living in your own purpose? What do those two things look like? Sometimes it's like one outweighs the other. Sometimes one outweighs the other. But really, what does it look like to live into those two things where, yes, I am raising the next generation and I want to raise a healthy, hopefully God-loving adult, Christ-loving adult, but also how do I live into the purpose and the reason for which I'm on this earth? So I have the absolute privilege of, I've had the privilege of hosting and interviewing women from all walks of life. It has been so fun. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. I have them all stored on my YouTube page under Aretha Scruggs and Momversations, or you can scroll back through my Facebook page and I have them posted there. But you are now tuning into the guest that I have tonight. And her name is Lydia Renee. Yay! Let me tell you about Lydia Renee, and then I'll bring her on, okay? So Lydia Renee is a singer-songwriter, producer, and classically trained musician. Her sound is classified as indie, vibrant soul. She has had the pleasure of collaborating with many acclaimed producers and songwriters, including Jahari and Tejomold Newton, co-creators of the iconic Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album. And she can tell me how to say that name when she comes on. With over 10 years of experience in the music industry, Lydia has lent her voice to commercials, TV, music videos, and film trailers for Lady and the Tramp. Y'all check her out. She did the film trailer for Lady and the Tramp, Man in the High Castle, Crocodile Dundee, The Perfect Guy, Ariana Grande. She's performed with Moby, The Perfect Guy, Chobani, Yogurt, Empire, and Lethal Weapon. She has also sung backing vocals for CeCe Winans, Ledisi, Mike Posner, and Lucas Graham. And she will tell you about her new opportunity. She is a plus-size model. So you might have seen her sometime around this time last year. She was in the Ulta Beauty stores nationwide. And her picture, beautiful picture with her beautiful fro, was up there. So without any further ado, let me bring on my guest. Please give it up for Lydia Renee. Yay!
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Hey, Brian. And for those who are watching, please just say hello in the chat so we can know you're here tuning in. And I forgot to mention, God, and Lydia Renee is also, while we're talking, she is the mom of 9, almost 10-month-old Amara, and she is the loving wife to Brian for 4 years. So there's her family. Sorry, I forgot to also mention that in the introduction.
Okay.
welcome, Lydia Renee. Please, if we'll start right off from the top, please introduce yourself to my audience. Tell us a little bit. I gave, of course, the snapshot. I gave the snapshot according to your bio. But who are you? Where are you from? How did you fall in love with music? And then how'd you get into plus size modeling? for those who.
Oh wow, that's a lot to tackle.
Yes,
Who am I? I'm just a girl with an afro who is
and
brown,
a
who
perfect afro, y'all. Check out this afro. Come
who like
on.
thank you. Who likes to sing, who's always been into everything creative. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from the Philadelphia area.
Really? Oh,
I say that because technically I'm from Southern New Jersey, which is right next to Philadelphia, very close. I was there all the time, went to college there, etc. Falling in love with music, I feel like I almost didn't even have a choice because I came from such a musical family.
mhm.
Everyone sang or played an instrument. My mom, my dad, my cousins, my aunts,
Wow.
um everyone. So music was always playing in our house. I was always a little kid listening to Anita Baker and Sade and Donnie and Stevie and people like Jonathan Butler. I
Mm,
listened to classical guitar. I listened to jazz pianists, Earl Garner, Art
nice.
Tatum. So I think I had that foundation ever since I can remember. I don't remember there not being music in the house.
Yes.
So when I started to get my own CDs, I had my little disc man and all that kind of stuff. The first
Yes.
CD that I had was Brandy's first self-titled album.
I want to be down.
Yeah.
I
That
was just watching
album
that.
still knocks to this day. Like that album still goes hard in 2020. And you find yourself singing along. I used to tape things off of the radio and sing
Yes.
along with it, like SWV and
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. So I think I just really didn't have a choice. But I think falling in love is when I started to be able to discover things on my own. You
Mm,
hear what your parents introduced to you and you have a great foundation, but then when you start to explore music yourself,
yes.
as a young person on your own, that's exactly when I started to fall in love with it. Try to sing along and try to sing harmony and sing background and all that stuff in your room, singing at the top of your lungs
Yes.
type of situation. So I didn't have a choice.
All right. All right.
Music was gonna happen some way or the other. Plus size modeling. I was singing at a benefit concert a couple years ago, around 2017, and there was a lot of different people in the audience, a lot of different people donating to the cause. It was to help homelessness in downtown LA. And after I was done, some people posted my performances on Instagram and I was just commenting, oh, thank you so much for posting or thank you so much for commenting. And one of the women that was there happened to be a modeling print agent.
God.
So I was just like, oh, thank you so much. I really didn't even know that. I was honestly just thanking everybody that posted a video. And she was like, oh, you know what? Who's your print agent? And I was like, actually, I just got rid of my print agent and I had
Wow.
who I was with before. And I was like, I just got rid of my print person. And she was like, you know what? Can you come in tomorrow for a meeting? And I was like, I surely can.
Woo.
So literally, that's how that happened
Wow.
because I kept saying, I want to do this. I want to get into plus size modeling. I want to do it. I don't know how to do it. I want to, I just kept saying it and kind of like putting it out there and like
Yeah.
telling people. And then all of a sudden that happened. Prior to that, I did self-submit myself to something, and that's how I booked my first job, which was with Dia and Co. Who
Nice.
mailed out the clothing boxes, like a clothing subscription box.
Yeah.
And that was my first job because I saw it, on LA casting, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll fit for this, maybe I won't, and I booked it. So,
Wow.
and then right after that, the agent found me at the concert, and that's literally what happened. Because people ask me all the time, and I'm like, the woman literally scouted me at the show, and I'm grateful.
Wait till yours starts walking and asking, talking. Can you close the door? Wait.
I can wait. I can
Yes,
certainly wait.
wait for that. Because once she starts talking, once she starts walking, she'll be like, Mama, where's the snack? Mama, let me get. Okay, anyway.
I think she's saying that in spirit now.
Exactly.
At 10 months, I can feel it happening.
Oh,
But
yeah. And they're the same people. Before they even talk, you can feel it. You cussing me out right now, ain't you? You
exactly.
talking
Exactly. I already know.
Anyway, anyways, that is flipping awesome. This is what I tell my students. You never know the opportunities that music can
No,
bring.
you
Music
don't.
literally can open up all kind of things, your wildest dreams. You're like, wait, what? Okay, yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You have to put it out there and expect to receive it.
Wow. Come on. You just said a lot right there. You said a lot right there. I mean, this is put all your lessons out because I know there's people listening who's in this music industry who's like, how do you get into that stuff? One, put it out there and expect to get it. Expect it
Yeah.
somewhere. Ain't the timing might not be your timing, but the timing
You're
just
right.
God's timing. He's like, hey, right now. You ain't
You're
expecting
right.
it at all right now. But ta-da, surprise. But you put it out there.
So true.
I love it. Now you were saying your family were your families like pastors? Were they artists? Or they were just
So my dad is a music minister and he's also a piano teacher. And my aunt is a music minister, evangelist, gospel, independent recording artist.
yes.
And everyone else, we just all just grew up in church and we sang.
Pretty much.
That's just what we do. We're just one of those families. We get together. When we get together for holidays and things like that, we're singing.
I love it. Yes.
Hmm.
That sounds like my family.
I
Yes.
bet.
Yeah.
I know it.
That sounds like my family. Well, so where do you see yourself? Where's music right now? What kind of music do you sing? What can the audience expect to hear from you?
Well, I classify myself as a singer songwriter because I usually play piano and sing, and I
Yes.
write my own music. So it's somewhere between soul and folk, sort of like singer songwriter soul.
Yes. What you
Similar
call it?
to
Indie something? What?
indie vibrant soul.
That is a great title. I just read past that, but I was like, let me ask that. Indie Vibrant Soul.
Yes,
Is
yes.
that you came up with that, or is that what I
You
love
know
the
what?
vibrant?
I'm not
Vibrant.
gonna give myself credit for that. It could have been any number of people. It could have been the person I was working with on my bio at the time, or it could have been my husband. So I'm not gonna steal and take credit for it right now. It could have been me, but I don't remember exactly who came up with that. So
I love
I'm gonna
that.
give everybody credit.
Not just indie soul, indie vibrant soul, ladies and gentlemen. Vibrant. I love that. Well, we'll hear a little bit more about where you can pick up Lydia Renee's music. You see her website passing below, so go on and check her out. But so now
Please.
we heard about your music story. Tell us about your family story. Tell us about your little one.
Oh, girl, where do I begin? What? Amara Joy. Oh
Amara
man.
Joy. I love that.
I think that motherhood is nothing like what I envisioned it to be. It's great. but I think we just have like this picture in our heads, like,
Yes.
and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be perfect, and I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna do everything right, and I'm gonna read all the books
Yes.
and read all the blogs, and I'm
Yes.
gonna read so many books and so
Yes.
many things that I'm just gonna get it all right. And as much as you try to get it all right, you're bound to get something wrong.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
she's a blessing indeed. She came very early. She was 6 weeks early.
Wow.
Um, and nothing was wrong with her other than she was just a little tiny. She didn't have she didn't have any breathing problems. She
Wow.
didn't have any issues. She came out screaming because they were like, oh, 33 weeks and 4 days. We have to give you a shot to speed up the development of her lungs because their lungs are fully developed after 34 weeks. So
Yes.
we really honestly didn't know what to expect. So, and really, they were supposed to give me 2 shots. They only gave me one of the two before I had my emergency C-section.
Wow.
And when she came out, she was screaming at the top of her lungs. So sis could breathe very well. There was nothing. She hasn't stopped screaming since, and it's been
Wow.
10 months. No. she
Wow.
she loves to scream when she's happy and when she's sad. So it's just a constant scream. But she loves to laugh and smile. It's such a weird feeling because you think, oh, I love my husband, I love my parents, I love my friends, but it's a different type of love, and
Yes.
this.
Yes.
It's a different type of feeling because you're like, I have to protect this life.
Yes. With all I got.
Exactly, and you'll do
Yes.
anything. You'll do
Yes.
anything to protect them.
Yes.
But being a mom, especially now during COVID, I'll be honest, I was worried that people were going to forget who I was, and people were going to forget that I even existed or did
Yes.
music or
Yes.
anything like that, because you have to take time to heal no matter what type of delivery you have.
Yes.
You have to take time to bond with your child. You can't just hop back in, even though
Right.
in my mind
That's
I was
what we
like,
think.
oh, I got this.
Yes.
I'm about to go to this session. It's okay, I'm gonna wear a girdle. And my husband was looking at me like, sis, what are you doing? I was
Yes.
like, I think I can go because I got a call to do like this session for like a large artist album.
Yes.
I was like, man, maybe if I just put like 2 girdles
Oh
on,
Lord.
I'll be able to like go and like make it through. Having just had a C-section maybe 6 days prior, seven
Oh.
days prior. And then I was like, Lydia, it's okay. You can let it go. That's a
What?
lesson.
Ah,
You
wow.
don't have to say yes to everything. Other opportunities will come, even though it feels like they're never going to
Yes.
come.
Oof. Let's sit there and say la on that one. That's another lesson. You those who are out there in the music industry, listen to that because that's real. We feel like, oh, if I say no to this one, it's never gonna come again. And then my
You're
life is
so
over. And
right.
then my career is over. And then I'm just gonna sit there and go get an office job. Yes, that's very real.
No, it's so true.
It's
And I was just
so
looking
real.
around like, oh my God, I really have to sit here and get myself together before I
Yes,
go back out again.
yes.
And I did, right before COVID hit, I did do a live gig. And I'm actually kind of glad I did that because
Right,
it's COVID hit and we're like, oops,
right.
no more
No
live
more.
gigs for a while, even
Yeah,
though it's starting to trickle back in now.
yeah,
But I think motherhood and balancing having a newborn
yeah.
is rough, especially because my parents don't live here, my husband's parents don't live here,
Mm,
we don't have nannies or babysitters, we don't have very many people that we have that we can just be like, here's a baby.
right.
Or especially when she was like really tiny and premature,
Yeah,
I was just like, I can't.
yeah. Yeah.
I was like, we can't even really go outside like that. So, and then COVID, and it's like, oh gosh, we have to get tested. This person has to get tested. And it's just
Yeah.
like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So, trying to balance everything with a baby has definitely been challenging. But I have to say, I thank God for my husband, we basically tag team. When I have to go out and I have to do something or work or something super important that can't be done from home, he holds it down. He's changing
Yes.
diapers. He's making meals and
Come
bottles.
on.
So I'm so grateful for him. And he's embraced fatherhood. He loves it. He has a lot of fun with her. So I'm so grateful. And I also commend all the single mothers because I don't know that I could do it. I think you guys are superheroes because I keep thinking like it's just me and my husband, and my mom will fly in and my dad will fly in and they'll fly in periodically, but they're not here to me to just be like, oh, I got a session, here's Amara.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just like, people that are doing it alone, God bless you guys.
Thank you. I will take that.
Yes, I recognize it. I recognize it. It's amazing, quite honestly.
Yes. Motherhood ain't no joke, friends. It ain't no
No.
joke. But the joys. We don't want to scare away the people who don't.
No, you don't. You
But the
don't.
reality is, it is. But tell me, I wanna kind of dig into that. What has motherhood, even though you haven't been able to do a lot of live shows right now, what has
Hmm.
motherhood, has it affected even your creativity? How has it
Oh.
affected you as an artist?
For me, it is very hard to get back to that space because, when you're pregnant and everybody is treating you like a queen, you're like on
Yes,
top of the world. You're like, I'm a queen, I'm pregnant, I'm a child. And everybody's rolling out the red carpet
yes,
for you.
yes.
And then you become a mom and everybody's like, where's the baby? Because we don't care about you anymore. You're just the vessel.
Reality.
So
Reality.
going back to that, when you're pregnant, like you're just like, oh, I'm nesting, I'm cleaning, I'm doing this. I have time to sit here and think. I can sit in my living room in silence and take
Yes,
out a pen and write a song. Now, oh my goodness. I'm just going to say, you have to be very intentional. And I'm still working myself back to that place.
yes,
It took me a while to even get to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this recording session.
yes.
Thankfully, Amara sleep trained by the time she was about 4.5 months.
Nice.
So she goes to bed at 8:30, and that's when I do what I have to do, especially, to make money and do sessions that I've been hired to do.
Right.
As far as creativity, I'm still working working on getting back to a place where I can sit there and write. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Because I feel like, especially first time moms, that's all you're thinking about is your kid and
yes.
like, do I have enough snacks? And did I put the car seat toy in the car? And did I use the right detergent for the laundry? It's just a list. It's just crazy. You're just
Yes,
always thinking about, have I done the right thing for
yes.
the child?
Yeah.
All the time. At least me. I'm like constantly like, oh, the wheels are turning. Oh no, oh, I gotta change
Yes,
the sheet. Oh no, we gotta change this. Oh, I gotta put ointment on the eczema. It's just like never
yes,
ending. So
yes,
I think intentionally we're doing something where I'm like, look, I need a moment. I need at least an hour right now. And my husband will take Amara and go to the park or go drive around or do something because it's COVID. You can't really go
right,
to many places, but
right.
you can go to the park, you can drive around. She falls asleep in the car. It's really
Right.
easy for him. But you have to be intentional about your time and
Yes.
that kind of a thing. So I am doing that now where I'm like, I need a moment.
Yes.
Can we
Yes.
please can I have it? He'll be like, okay, I'll have an hour or two where I can do whether it's right, whether it's look at a favorite show,
Right.
whether it's just sit there in silence.
Silence. Silence is golden. As a mom,
And
yes.
also giving yourself grace and not being too hard on yourself, because I know that like for a while I'm like, oh no, I have to write songs, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it's okay if it takes a while for you to get back there, because you don't want to be too hard on yourself.
Yes.
And that can cause problems too.
Yes. Yes.
So
So,
creativity, woo
yeah.
child, we're getting there. we're
Hey.
getting we're getting there. We're getting back into a groove, because it's also when you're first time mom, you're trying to figure out a rhythm for your day. For a
Yes.
while, it's just like I haven't slept.
Yeah.
So how
Very real.
I can't even create my eyes to open. How I'm
Yes.
gonna create a song or a painting or whatever it is you do.
Yes.
It's just like you're exhausted for the
Yes.
first couple months.
Yes.
So yeah,
But the
just
beauty, at least I can tell you, being that my daughter's 4, I remember I used to have so many packets and stuff in the stroller, and I had snacks, and I had the car was full of Winkies and whatever. And but once that first year comes, you're gonna go, wait a minute, wait a minute. I don't have to bring this. Oh, I can leave this. You can have a smaller
I look
stroller.
forward to the day.
Ah, yes,
I look
yes,
forward to
yes.
the
Then that's
day.
the new stage because now they're walking. And
I
now it's like, oh, wait a
know.
minute. So it's, there's pros and cons with every stage. But at least you'll have
True.
a little bit less dependent. So those are things to look forward to.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. In just a little time. She'll be 1, and then next she'll be in 18 months. You're like, wait a minute, I got some more freedom. Hey, okay.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
you're so right. And you forget
You
that
forget.
this stage really doesn't last very long, which is
No.
also why you have to give yourself grace and just enjoy the time.
Yes.
Enjoy your child. Enjoy the fact that they actually want to be around you all the time.
Yes.
Because one day they're going to be like, can you drop me off down the street?
Exactly.
Because I don't want to be seen getting out of the car
I
with
gotta
you.
go. I gotta go with my friends.
And I know that will happen one day. It's
Oh
not going
yes.
to shock or surprise me. I'm just going to enjoy the time that she just wants to hang on mommy, pull
Yes.
my shirt down,
Right. Because
tear
that's
my clothes, bite me, scratch me.
all of those things. All of
Battle
those
scars.
battle scars for real. For real. Now tell me, so we're gonna go back to in even talking about your all the things that you do creatively and even as an artist, what do you think is your why? What do you think has been the thing that
Mm.
keeps you even in this industry?
Oh boy. Such a good question. um, you know, number one, I know that music is what it is that I'm supposed to do. And as far as fulfilling your purpose in this world, I believe that that is 100% a part of my purpose. And that's how I'm going to either make my mark on this world or change other people for the better in
Ooh,
this world.
good.
And we have a responsibility, even though sometimes we're like, you know what, I'm done.
Right.
I have this moment all the time. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sell bracelets by the seashore.
Right.
I don't want anything to
Right.
do with this
Yeah.
industry. I'm done.
Yes.
So
Yes.
even when we go through that, that's almost doing a disservice to God and the gifts and talents that He's
Ooh,
given all of us. to do whatever it is that we do, because we
Yeah.
all have a unique set of gifts and talents, even inside the music industry, from playing to singing, writing, producing. Whatever your talent is, if you have all the talents, it's doing a disservice to God and the gifts that He's given you if you don't use them,
Ooh.
and also use them to help people, to help the world, to change lives. And it's
Yeah.
not to be boastful, like I'm changing lives
Right.
with
Right.
my voice. No, it's
Right.
not even about that. It's just you kind of just have a responsibility to do good with the gifts that you've been given.
Yeah.
And also now a part of my why is my daughter.
Yeah.
I love being a mom, and being a mom is an amazing gift and an amazing privilege. However, I want her to see me living in my truth and my gifts and my
Yeah.
purpose, so she knows that she can do it too, and she can do multiple things. She can do whatever it is she wants to do,
Yeah.
because I want to show her that I'm chasing after my dreams so she can chase after hers.
Yeah.
You're an example now, even though you don't think about it that way.
Right.
You're a living example to the little people in your life.
Very much so. I love that. Yes. How even within the even within that push and pull of being a mother and handling the physicalness of meeting dates and meeting people or whatnot, how has that balance been with even living into your purpose, knowing that even in this season we're not able to go out? Are
Yeah.
there ways that you're finding to live into that? Maybe it looks different in this season.
As far as going after what I want for myself in the music industry,
Yes, all of the above, even in your plus size modeling.
it does look different. I'm assuming you're talking about COVID-19.
Yes, the Rona, if you will.
I think it forced everybody to get a little more creative.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? No, you can't do shows, but yes, you can do live streaming from your home. I haven't done that yet.
I know.
I need more space in my home. We're gonna move soon.
Nice. Nice.
We're moving very soon. I'm putting that out there. Um,
I love it.
but I think it forced people to get creative and find different and new ways to chase after their dreams.
Yeah.
Thankfully, um, we invested in our home studio so I could be able to record from home.
Nice.
Prior to COVID, I probably don't even think that I would have been able to record from home. I had the ability and the know-how, but I needed to update everything, which costs money.
Yes. Right.
As you know,
All
everything
of that.
costs $1 million.
Yeah.
Um,
And get it right now. You have 1 million. Let me have it. So you too can have this that everybody else
I know.
has. Yeah. Yeah.
So thankfully, um, I've been able to work with new and different people,
Nice.
um, doing session work because I invested in all of that equipment,
Nice.
invested in knowing how to use it. Thankfully, my husband is my other half. He is my engineer. He is my
Come on. Give it up for the dads out there. She's got a true partner.
no, it's
Yes.
imperative.
Yes,
Shout out
Brian.
to
We
Brian
shout you
Vickers.
out. Yes.
Yeah, I think that that was so important for us because it's already paid for itself. Amen.
Nice.
But
Yes.
at the time, I was like, how much and what? And
Right.
excuse me,
Yes.
COVID is happening. What's going on?
Yes.
So I think it's important to adapt to what's going on, because I know that a lot of singers, especially people that have been in the game for years, the OGs, the people that we look up to, home
Yes.
recording is new and different and scary.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to get in there. This is what we have to do now.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to go on tour again.
Right.
Don't know when you're going to be in a huge studio session with a huge choir, a huge orchestra. You know,
Right.
you don't know when that's going to be allowed again. And in the meantime, you have to eat. You
Right.
have to pay for all the snacks for
Right.
the kids.
Right. Right. Right.
So, it definitely looks different, and I'm going to start recording my next album from home, because now, even through doing all that work for other people, I feel a lot more confident
Nice.
about doing the album from home, which never would have happened before
Hey.
COVID. Never would have been doing any of this. Plus size modeling. I did book a gig, amen, a couple weeks ago, and I had to go on set. I was scared because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a babysitter. I don't
Ah,
know what that looks like. Because
right.
if Brian wasn't available, Brian also works from home very hard, but he's able to watch Amara at the same time. And she's not as high maintenance as she was when she was like 3 months. 9 months and 3 months is a big difference.
Yes.
And she's crawling around. She loves her little toys and her play area. She's pretty easy.
Nice.
Except, well, that's her
There
yelling.
you have
As I said, she was pretty easy. Um, so thankfully, I just tell you have to be very vocal, and I tell people, look, I have a baby.
That's
I need to
right.
be the first person in here. Can you get me in at 8 a.m. instead of 2 p.m.? Can I be the first person on set? And they obliged.
Nice.
Like, oh, we understand you're first, blah blah blah. So when I went in for my shoot day, I went in at 8 a.m. I was done at 2 p.m. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying? And I was at home. So,
Nice.
you know, that's a blessing too.
Yeah.
But I think you have to be vocal about that. Even when I
Yeah.
did my fitting, I was like, listen, can I be the first person in here because I got to get home?
Wow.
You're trying to coordinate yourself around nap times and feeding
Yes.
times and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think you have to not be afraid to say, I have a baby, I need this. They can either say yes or no, but most of the time people understand.
Come on. Lesson number 3, ladies and gentlemen. If you ain't listening, if you're tuning in right now, whether you're a mom or just in the music industry, we got to learn to speak up and say, you know what? I need this. And all they can say
Yeah.
is no. Sometimes it's hard.
And
That's
you
a
had the
hard
same thing you had in the first place.
exactly.
Nothing has
So
changed.
that's good. That's a good lesson. But that's a good thing about motherhood, because motherhood makes you step up and do things that you maybe
You're
wouldn't have done.
right.
You
You're
like, oh,
a hundred. You know
hey,
what?
yeah. Actually,
You're
I
a
can
hundred
do
percent
this.
right.
You 100%. You like, you can say no easier, and you can ask for things easier, because now it ain't just me involved. It's I got this little
Mhm.
girl. Listen, I need to ask you for a favor. I need the resource. There's no even, it's not even should I ask? No, I'm asking. And all
Yeah.
you say is no. And as
No, you're.
my mom put in the comments, never hurts to ask. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. That's my motto. My
That's
mama
right.
motto always. If you don't
That's a
ask,
100%.
you never know. They might always say yes.
Exactly.
Don't know 'cause you didn't ask.
I will say that recently we had a very a very large home recording job for a major film,
Nice.
and it was so hard because not the actual process of recording. It was so hard because, as you know, sleep regressions are a thing. For people that aren't parents, it's basically when they regress. They don't sleep through the night for whatever
Oh,
reason it is.
oh
Either they
yes.
learned a new skill, they're teething, they
Yep.
just don't feel like it,
Yep.
they're hungry. And it was rough because I'm so used to Amara going down at 8:30 and waking up between 7 and 8:30 in the morning,
Nice. 12
which
hours.
I've gotten used to. So, of course, when mommy and daddy had to do one of the largest recording jobs since COVID, she's up screaming like every 2 hours. And I'm
Oh,
just like, I can't. It was so hard. It was so hard. And then we had a really tight deadline. And I was
Ooh.
like, oh my, and it was a lot of music. It
Ah,
was a lot of music. It was over the course of like 2 or 3 days of
wow.
me recording all night long. And then in the middle of that, this is how this I was like, is this a test? In the middle of all of that, and then we're trying to dodge horns and
Right.
motorcycles. You know how it
Right.
is.
Yep.
The room is as treated as it can be, but you can't when you live in an apartment building, and even sometimes if you live in a house that's on a major street, you
Yep.
got to dodge all this stuff. People that
Yep.
want to blow leaf blowers at 12 a.m. for whatever reason.
Right.
You're dodging all these things trying to record music. And then in the middle of that, I got an email for another job. And they were like, can you have this done at 9 a.m.? And I was like, yep. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
through the course of all of that, we were able to get it all done. There were trials and tribulations, tears. All
Wow.
of the things, but we got it done. I'm like, nobody else has babies right now. And I feel
Right.
like I'm the only one that was dodging all of this stuff. And it was so stressful. And I
Uh,
was like, I value, I love my daughter. I always preface this. But man, I value that time where it's silent and you have the space to work. It's
yes,
invaluable. So if
it
you're
is.
pregnant right now, enjoy the time, the silence, the space. My
Yes.
daughter has taken over the entire home.
Yes.
It's her apartment now. It no longer belongs to us.
Oh,
Cherish that space and time to get things done. So we got it done. I think Jesus is the only reason that we got that done on
come on.
time and
Yes.
finished and clean and both jobs on time. The person that asked for it at 9 a.m., he loved it. It was great.
Yes.
I'm just grateful to be working,
Yes.
but man, it was
Wow.
like 2, 3 nights in a row where Amar was just like, I don't want to sleep now.
Wow.
I'm up. So I don't know when you're gonna get your recording done.
Wow. That's real. That's real.
It was rough, man, but we did it. We did
Yes.
it. I don't know how,
I
but it
love
got
it.
done.
Was that how in describing that, in describing the kind of the pull of motherhood and even the pull of your artistry sometimes,
Hmm.
of not only the work that comes up, but also sometimes, we're pulled on to do so many different types of roles or different types of voices. And how has been the process of finding you, and how do you maintain that when there's so many things pulling on the real essence of who you are?
I know I keep groaning after every question. I'm sorry. Because it's such a good question. I think that that's a constant journey
Yes, good.
of finding out who you are. Of course, I think it gets clearer with every decade.
Very true. Very
Like
true.
teens, you're like,
Yes,
I haven't a clue who I am. Don't
right,
know. Who knows? I'm
right,
trying to be like everybody else. I'm trying
right,
to look like everybody else.
right.
In your 20s, you kind of like find that independence, but you're still very lost,
Yeah, very much so.
making horrific mistakes.
Yes.
Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm finding that I can say no easier.
Yeah.
I can assert myself better.
Yeah.
Um, I know that I know what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do.
Right.
I think you need to set the standard for yourself in anything,
Yeah.
relationships, work, friendships, parenthood. I don't know what you have to set the standard for yourself so you know what it is that what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do.
Yeah.
Um, I think that I definitely am still I'm on a detour of finding myself. I'm not going to say that I don't know who I am. I do
Yeah.
know who I am, but that changes. That's changed now
Yeah.
because I'm Amara's mother now, and you have to concentrate on the babies.
Yes. Yes.
So I think in finding myself in motherhood, um, I think that it's a journey that I'm definitely still currently on
Yeah.
after 9 months of
Right.
being a mommy.
Still do.
But I am finding that with every little thing that I do, because before I did any work when I was still healing, I was just like, how am I gonna do how am I gonna do it? Oh my god, I don't know. My parents came for a long time. They were here for like 8 weeks, 2, 3 months,
Nice.
and
Wow.
it was
Yay, parents.
necessary. It
Yay,
was
parents.
it was necessary. Thankfully, they're retired. They have time to come. Shout out
Nice.
to my parents. They're
Come
amazing.
on, parents. Yay for the
Um
parents. My mama, your mama. Whether they watching.
I
Yes. We need the whole village. The whole village.
it's so necessary, but
Yes.
after they left, I felt lost again because I'm like, oh no, my parents aren't here to help me. Because it's like, oh, gotta run and do this
Yes.
here, because
Yes.
you trust them.
Yeah.
And so when you're out there by yourself, I was just like, how am I gonna do this? So I think, don't be afraid to try things. I was like, okay. Because I was like, oh, I can't say yes to anything because I don't think I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I'm trying to balance this motherhood situation.
Yes.
But I think once I said yes to the first gig from home,
Right.
and then the next one and the next one, and then I was like, okay, I have to go on set. I have to do this. I was like, I have a husband. He's amazing. I need to trust my team, which is what my husband always says.
I love it.
Because I do have the type of personality where it's like, move over, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
You're
Yep.
not doing it right, I'm going to do it.
Me too.
And I'm working on that too. But you have to trust the people that are on your team around you to help you, and trust God too. I was like, listen, this opportunity came. I have a husband. God's going to work it out, because I feel like also you have a lot of anxiety too, with COVID on top of it. You're
Yes.
just like, oh, I don't want to put my family at risk. I don't want to put my baby at risk. What do I say yes to? What do I say
Yes.
no to? Should I even be out of the house? So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But once I went on set, it was very safe. It was, people took extra precautions for everything. And once I did it, I was like, oh, I can do it.
Yes.
I can do this. So, you have to get out there and do it to know that you can do it.
Yeah.
So I definitely see I have more of a rhythm now with taking work and parenting, and communication between me and my husband is extremely important,
Yes.
because I can't just be booking all these jobs and not telling him and putting it on the calendar and being like, oh, I have a fitting tomorrow. And he's like, but wait a second, I have XYZ.
Right.
And, communication between us is super, super duper important, because he'll be like, I have a Zoom. I have 8 Zooms today, and
Ooh.
or I have to go out for this. I have a meeting. I have to do this. And I think communication between us, on that front, has made it a lot easier too. Because I'm like, listen, I have a fitting. He's like, okay, I got it. I can take her today.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah,
Communication.
it's important. It's just about finding a balance that works for you and your family.
Yeah.
Maybe that balance is your mother-in-law taking the baby for 2 days a week. Whatever it is that
Right.
works for you guys, work it.
Yeah.
And
Work.
use it. Use all your resources. The friends that said that they wanted to babysit, have them take a COVID test
Right.
and drop the child off. If you trust them.
That's good.
Use your resources. It's not
Yes.
time to be cute.
No. No. Motherhood in
And
general is not time to be cute. What are the
no.
resources? I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna use them. Yes, and pass them on if someone else needs them.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, that goes to my next question. Even, I mean, you've had a baby in quarantine. Like, what? You've had a baby in quarantine in the biggest kind of racial upset since the 60s.
I know.
Going on? The craziest, like, election coming up. There's so much that you are raising and having a newborn in. What has self-care looked like for you, especially during, I mean, all of us during that the George Floyd death and the Ahmaud Arbery, like what has
Yeah.
self-care looked like for you in the midst of this?
Um, Outside of the superficial, I'm not gonna say superficial. I'm not gonna say that. But outside of skin and hair and teeth,
Right. Right.
um, I'm gonna circle back to just taking that space to just be with yourself and your thoughts, because as a mother, we're always constantly having to do for everyone else,
Yes.
especially as a wife too. It's like, oh, I have to cook, I have to clean, I've got to wash clothes, I've got to feed babies, I've got to feed men.
Yes.
I've got to I've got to do all these things, and it's crying, it's Zoom calls, it's
Yes.
it's noise, it's cartoons in the background. So
Yes.
you almost don't even have a chance to think and reflect and really do anything. So self-care, outside of me doing my skin routine when I can, or my hair when I can, because let me tell you, hair didn't get done for about 3 months.
Hey.
3-4 months for a
Shit.
while.
Yep.
Thank God for prenatal vitamins.
That's why we put in braids. That's why we see most moms go in labor with braids. They know
You
I
are
ain't doing
correct.
this hair. I
You
ain't
are
doing this
correct.
hair.
Sometimes I just have to excuse myself. I'll go to the bathroom sometimes. That's mommy's favorite place.
That's right.
You can
Right.
read a book, you can pray,
That's
you
right.
can meditate.
Yes.
You can do whatever it is you need to do to get you through to the next day.
Yes.
If you have to scream and call on Jesus.
Yes. Come on. All of the above. Yes.
Sometimes it's me taking a walk at
Yeah.
the park. You just kind of have to do whatever it is that gets you through to the next day. Sometimes me and my mom joke, because my mom is a life coach. She'll say, "How do we overcome?" And I'll say, "Ice cream."
Ah, come on, ice cream. Yes.
Strawberry,
I was
or
gonna say, what's your favorite? What's your favorite flavor? Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs Rocky Road.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, listen,
Haagen-Dazs.
honestly, any Haagen Dazs will
Yes.
do.
Right. That's the
But
best ice cream.
sometimes self care is a pint of ice cream.
Yes.
I'm not advocating that for daily use, but sometimes every once in a while, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And, just to get yourself through to the next day, to help you to center yourself, because there's a lot happening
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yes.
And it's tough, you know what I'm saying? And you have to create a space for yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes in the car. Because
Yes.
I know people are like, I don't have time, I don't have space, I don't have I understand.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to get in the car and put on some jazz.
Yes.
Or drive around the block. Honestly, it could be anything, and then you'll feel so much better
Yeah.
after you've done it, because
Mhm.
you have to do that for yourself in order to show up for your family.
Yeah.
You can't just give, 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 drain yourself out, breastfeeding. You're just drained. So you have to take a moment for yourself, even if it's just a couple minutes.
Yes. I don't get to ask everybody this question, but I'm gonna ask you this question because you are because we are in a male dominated industry. Period.
Mhm.
Like, especially as you being a musician too, there are not a lot of female pianists or instrumentalists.
No, there
You
aren't.
do a lot of things that only men do. You're producing your own stuff. You are a pianist. So you are on a whole nother where I'm just a singer, though I can play a little bit, but not for myself.
That's a skill.
So what does that look like? I mean, how has that been even going before motherhood and now that
Mhm.
you see it after motherhood? How have you even gone in these different circles? I mean, it sort of goes with the question of how do you maintain you when you're, sometimes you want to feel like, oh well, I gotta be like the guys, but then you don't want to be like the guy because you're you are bringing the femininity with your intimate. Like, how do you go into these circles and still keep your femininity? And now on this side of being a mom, like talk about that, the different roles, the role of being a woman in these very male dominated spaces that you walk in.
I think that that is an excellent question. I know I keep saying that, but it is. um, I think that you just have to treat people like people. I'm very used to, and not everybody is, and that's fine. I'm very used to being around men. I'm used to being around my dad and his friends and my grandfather, and I had a ton of male friends. I also had a lot of female friends. I'm not going to be that person. I don't get along with women. I'm not that. I'm not that person.
Okay.
But I'm very used to men, good men.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So me personally, I am used to being around men, but it is sometimes intimidating when, especially I have to come in with all new musicians who are all men, and I have to lead the band, I have to teach the music
Yes.
for my shows. Honestly, I have been blessed that everyone that's ever played for me has been an absolute sweetheart and
Nice.
wonderfully professional and very easy to work with.
Nice.
But also, if you don't present yourself the right way, that could turn sideways in a heartbeat. You don't, I think as a woman, sometimes we feel like we have to come in there like, well, it's a blah, 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 and it's me, and I'm in charge, and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, and you have to put on this situation. No,
Right.
I feel like
I'm in
that
charge.
I feel like that would turn anybody off.
Yeah.
Men, women, children, people. I don't think that gets anybody excited to work with you.
Right. Right.
I think you have to literally just treat people like people.
Good.
I'm very sweet and very nice to everyone. Not saying that I'm always sweet and nice, but if you're good, if you're a great person, if you're a nice person, we're good.
Yeah.
Just come knowing my music.
Period.
Come,
Point blank. Know my stuff, and we won't have any problems.
I'm very matter of fact, and I'm not
Yeah.
that person. Although I'm married, if I wasn't, I'm not that person that's in there trying to flirt with everyone, trying to get everybody to like me either, because I've seen that too.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go over well either.
Good.
I'm sure you've seen that. And
Yeah.
that's, you know, that doesn't go well in the long run either. I'm there to do a job. We're there to have fun. We're there to play music, or I'm there to write with you. I'm there to create with you. I
Yes.
think the best policy is just to treat people like people. Don't be
Yeah.
a pushover. And when I say pushover, like people coming late, people not knowing the stuff, address
Right.
it and either don't hire them again. It's
Right.
really as simple as that. There's no need to be cussing people out and causing drama and oh blah blah blah. This one he didn't know the music.
Right.
Having that kind of energy is
Yeah.
it's pointless.
It is.
I think people know I pay people on time. I do what I say I'm going to do. I show up on time. I do my job.
Yes.
And that way people know you're serious about
That's
what it is
right.
that you're doing. Whether you're a man, woman, whoever,
Right. Right.
they know Lydia's serious about what it is that she's doing. And I
Right.
respect her as a colleague. So I haven't I have come across some people who act really weird, or they try to say weird things to me before a writing session, or they're trying to, say things that are inappropriate. I'm very public about being married, about I love my husband, I'm happily married.
Yes. Yes.
So if people try to come at me in a weird way, I just don't respond. I just don't work with them.
Right.
It's really just as simple as that.
Right.
It doesn't have to be drama. It's like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. Cool.
This is our
Like,
last number.
we don't have to work together.
Yes.
That deep.
Period.
Honestly, sometimes I know people get afraid because they're like, oh man, this one, if you write with him or if you work with him as a producer, that's going to propel you to a certain level. Most of the time, it's really not even worth it to me to go through something like that that's going to compromise me or morally or make me feel uncomfortable. I just think it's not even worth it
Yeah.
in the long run.
Yeah.
People try to dangle that in your face, and it goes back to opportunities.
Hmm.
When God has the right opportunity or opportunities for you, it's going to work out.
Yeah.
It's not going to compromise your morals, your
Good.
values, make you feel uncomfortable, make you have to be sexually harassed the whole time to get the situation done. If that's what's going on, you got to walk away.
That's right.
Not worth it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a shame that everything that people have been through on that front in the industry, because people feel so bound, like, man, this one is XYZ higher up person, they can ruin me in the industry.
Wow.
I think it's a shame that women have had to go through things like that. Thankfully, I haven't had to go through anything that deep yet, but I
Yes.
know the higher you go, the weirder it gets. But
Right.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
And I think that the best policy as a woman, especially if you're in charge, if you're the boss, if you're running the session, if you're running the rehearsal, just you do your job well
Yeah.
and just be nice and fair to everyone, and people will respect you for it, and they will want to work with you.
That's great. Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Now, I've never had to do this. I'm going to ask this question, and I got to go get my charger because my computer's about to die. But we have my thing plugged in. But I'm going to ask you this question. You're going to see me disappear for the audience
Okay.
there. But Lydia's going to answer the question.
Oh boy.
But my next question, and we're coming towards the end. I'm not going to hold you long, but we're coming towards the end. Tell me how, speaking of this journey that we're on, and I think it's just a continual journey as an artist. We're just on a journey. There is no like, I made it, here we are, I'm going to stop and sit here. No, it's just a continuance of knowing yourself, knowing your craft, knowing who you are as a person, as an artist, all those things. So can you talk about some point in your life where you hit failure? What does that look like for you, and how have you overcome, and what has been some of the tools or tricks or tips you can get for those who are watching who might be in that season, or maybe COVID feels like a failure or a detour, and they're like really having a hard time. How have you gotten through those times in your life? And I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh man, she keeps asking me so many hard questions. I think that if you're in a season right now that you are determining as failure, I think that it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to feel sad, angry, upset, and discouraged, but you can't stay there. You have to keep going. But I think it's important to allow yourself to feel that. Don't ignore it. Um, Feel it for 24 hours. I don't know, an hour, whatever it is. I think maximum 24 hours. And then you got to come up out of that thing.
Yeah. Come
and,
about.
and do and do something. And I know that depression is real. During
Yeah.
COVID, they said depression, suicide, all of those things are
Yes.
at an all-time high. We're in our houses. We can't gather, we can't communicate the same way we used to.
Yeah.
There's no church, there's no community really anymore, and people are suffering from that also. I
Yeah.
think that um, you have to determine what your definition of failure is. Um, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
I because what you think might be failure might be success to somebody else, or
Right.
like I wish I had that failure as
Yeah.
opposed to what it is I'm going through. So be mindful of your definition of failure, and I would encourage people to concentrate on all the good things that have happened. Yes, a lot of bad things have happened. People have lost people, family members have
Yes.
passed away, people are struggling financially, um, and it's real, and I'm not
Yes.
ignoring that or discounting that at all. But if you're in a season of failure, you have to remember when God showed up for you. And if you're not a believer, when things were looking up for you, because I'm sure
Yes.
they were at once. And remember all the blessings that you did have.
Yes.
Concentrate on those things to help you come out of your depression, your discouragement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to, remember your why. Like you asked me earlier, why are you doing it? You
Yes.
know, um, is it just to impress other people? I had a
Yes.
friend once, we had a conversation, and they were talking about a role that they really wanted. They're an actor, and a role that they really wanted, and they were so upset that they didn't get this particular role. And I was like, well, why did you want that role?
Oh.
I was like, were you just trying to impress people and say, "Oh, I booked such and such and I did this. Look at me. I was
Right.
able to do this." So you can post it on Facebook and the gram and this that and the third. Or did you really want that role? And
Oh.
it turned out that it was more of I wanted to show people that I could do this kind of a thing. And that's
Yeah.
never really going to serve you as a motivation. You That can't always be your motivation. Honestly, you have
Yeah.
to have a bigger purpose and a bigger why, unless you will quit.
Right.
You will quit at the first sign of failure, because
Yep.
everybody's going to fail at something.
Yep.
You have to remember why it is that you're doing what it is that you're doing, and it has to be a big purpose so you can stay in it and stay the course.
Ooh.
I hope that if you are in that season, I pray that it turns around for you immediately, and
Yeah.
that you're able to continue in your journey.
Yes. Listening and finding that why, friends. Finding that why. Sometimes as I was in a workshop, like sometimes that's the only thing that'll get you out of bed sometimes. Okay, this is my why. This is why I'm getting out. I'm gonna get in the shower. Let me get up and try again today. If
Okay.
you don't know your why, this is a great time to find your why. Think of a sentence. What's your sentence? What is your give me like an elevator pitch? This is why I exist. This is why I sing. This is why I do a certain job. This is why. Find your why, and that will motivate you a lot of times to even just take a first step out of the bed into today, into your the things your to-do list.
Listen, because there's a lot of people not stepping out of bed right now.
Yes, it's very real. It's very real.
Seriously.
Yes,
So, I know.
specifically in our industry where there is no live performances in the near future. So it is like if it was your only point was to impress others, now there's nothing to impress. Now we are all like, well, when is this happening? It has to be a greater why that's going to even get you out of the bed to figure out, okay, what do I do while I'm here in this
Yeah.
season?
It's
Yeah.
time. It's time to get creative. If you have
Yes.
time to get creative, maybe start writing. Maybe start
Yes.
to produce. Maybe
Yes.
start trying to get into Logic and Pro Tools on your laptop and start figuring some things out.
Yes.
It's just time to use this time to start trying to pivot to different things and see what it
Yes.
is that you can do.
Yes. And I love something you said before. Sometimes it can just be in serving others. Maybe your time right now is to figure out how can I serve someone else? I feel like crap right now, but how
Yeah,
can I help somebody who maybe feels a lot less like crap or a lot more like crap than me? How can I get out and think about somebody else? And that might in itself
yeah,
add to some opportunity that opens. So how can I
exactly.
serve? How can I serve? Again, going back to that why. Why do I exist? Why did God bring you here? Why do you
Yeah,
exist? Yeah,
exactly.
that's good stuff. Y'all, she's putting some good lessons and some good nuggets. Good nuggets in this thing. All right, we're coming to our last two questions. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what right now, what is the greatest lesson that Lydia Renee is learning right now? It could be this decade. It could be in quarantine. It could be now that you're a mom. It could be in what being a wife, whatever. What's the greatest lesson you're learning?
The greatest lesson I'm learning is probably a few. Um, I have to. I'm gonna say this because I tell other people this, but I really struggle doing it myself. I have to give myself grace.
Mm.
I have to. I'm one of those people that that tries to be a perfectionist. Obviously, I'm not. But one of those perfectionist type of people, personality, and I want to do everything right, and I
Yeah,
want everybody to love me, and I want to always get it right, and I want to always do everything perfectly, and it's just not going to happen.
yeah,
And I think that in giving yourself grace, I have to give myself grace because with a child you don't know what you're doing.
no.
Again, you can try to learn everything before the baby comes out, and then when they come out, it's a completely different ball game because guess what? They all have their own personality,
Yes, yes,
their own temperament,
yeah,
their own way of communicating,
yeah,
their own everything, and you have to adapt to that.
yes,
Not what you
yes,
read in the book.
yes,
Um, so I'm trying to give myself grace as a mother because mom guilt is real. And
yes,
I started a mommy group for women of color in LA because I didn't see a space where I could ask questions and be myself freely without people judging you. There's a lot of
yes,
judgment in these groups because I've been in a
yes,
lot of groups, girl, on Facebook, a lot of groups.
yes,
And there's, oh my God, it's drama. So
yeah,
I created a mommy group for that reason. It's been great, and everybody has been able to share and be themselves. But we talk about mom guilt a lot
yeah.
because you're on social media. You're like, oh wow, look at this perfectly curated lunch of heart-shaped
Pancakes.
strawberries and apple fritters and
Yes.
pancakes in the shape of smiley faces, and like my kid ate some mashed peas, and you're like, oh God, I'm a terrible mom because I don't have the heart-shaped strawberries and the pancakes and blah blah blah
Yes,
blah. And we just be doing dumb stuff like that.
yes,
And
it's real.
is and you don't have to be a perfectionist to go through that. It's just this mom guilt that you're like, I should be doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not a good mom because I didn't do the smiley face pancake.
Right, right.
So you gotta give yourself grace.
Yes.
I think just birthing a human in general, we all deserve awards
Yes.
and crowns and cupcakes and
I can
massages
eat
for
Slurpees
life.
and ice cream. Yes.
We all deserve all the things for
Yes.
giving birth to human beings.
Right.
So I'm learning to give myself grace because you can't be so hard on yourself, and that's going to translate over into the way I raise my child. I have to
Yeah.
give her grace too.
Yes.
So you can't be too hard on yourself. It's a constant lesson that I am trying to learn.
Yes.
Being as transparent as possible. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
I'm so hard on myself.
Hmm.
Um, but I learn every day when I see her and she smiles and she learns how to do something new, and they don't really care. They don't know about the heart-shaped strawberries and smiley face pancakes
No.
yet. They
Right.
really don't know, and they honestly could care less.
Right.
They don't know. Just find grace, find happiness in that they don't really remember too much before 2 or 3 years old. And whatever happened, just learn what you got to do in the first 2 3 years,
Yeah.
and you're good.
Right.
Not saying just do anything, but it's okay it's okay to make mistakes. I have to tell myself, Lydia, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay that she didn't get into bed till 9:20 tonight instead of 8:30.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
little things like that. I literally tell myself it's okay.
Yes. It's
Because I'll be,
okay.
yeah, because I'll be talking to my husband like, oh my God, and she didn't do this, and I didn't cook, and she didn't get into bed till such and such 30, and blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, Lydia,
I
it's okay. It's okay. It's
love it.
okay.
I
So
love it.
yeah, give yourself grace,
Grace,
mamas.
grace, grace, grace. Yes. All right, we're coming to our last two questions. They're just kind of off the top of your head, the short, quick answer.
Okay.
How, so if you met Amara later in life, say she's in her third decade or her second decade, what
Yeah.
would you want Amara to know about you and your journey?
I would like her to know that I made a lot of mistakes and that I did a lot of things that I thought I regretted, but everything led me to her.
Oh,
Everything that I did, I wouldn't change
oh.
anything because it led me to having
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. It led me to having you,
Beautiful.
which ultimately, honestly, I don't care how, I don't care if I win a Grammy, how many Grammys, what I do. Of course, I care, and that would be awesome and great. But she is my greatest achievement.
Ah,
And I want her to always know that.
yes.
Always. And that's what my journey led me to.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna have to come back and watch my, my journey led me to you. That's beautiful. That should be in a card.
Oh, maybe it will be,
Beautiful
girl.
words. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to our final question. It has been such a joy to get to know you and to hear your story, Lydia, and to hear your heart, the songwriter, the poet almost. She is such great nuggets. Y'all, if
Oh,
you were
thank
just
you.
tuning in, go back and watch this. She's got some great nuggets, not only for parenting and being a mom, but also surviving through this crazy time that we're having to live through, that is
Mhm.
2020. Go back and watch these nuggets she's dropping. They're really, 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 really important lessons. But our final questions, I love to always end my interviews with this, is really, I read the autobiography of Michelle Obama and watched her on watched her
Netflix.
on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful story that she has. And I
Mhm.
love the question that they left everybody with was, who are you becoming? So I asked that,
Mm.
and I leave that with you, Lydia Renee. Who are you becoming?
Oh man, who am I becoming? I think I'm becoming more aware. I'm becoming more aware of who I am every day. Every experience, everything that I go through, I think that I'm becoming better.
Yes.
Even though it might not look better to me,
Yeah.
it might not look better to me. Every experience, everything, child,
Yes.
every pandemic,
Yes.
election, riot, I don't know, everything that's happening now, everything, um we're becoming better people, we're
Yeah.
more aware,
Yeah.
we're more conscious, we are more responsible. Had all these things not happened, I don't think we would have taken as much of an interest in politics, government, our local government,
Yes.
any of these things. I think that because when adversity presents itself, um, you have a choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice to show up. And I think I am becoming someone who is showing up more, who is becoming better, more aware, um, a more well rounded person, even though sometimes it doesn't look like that to
Yes.
myself. I know that the way God works, He's always molding and shaping us
Yes.
into who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Um, so, in short, I'm slowly becoming who I was supposed to be, who I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
And eventually I will be that person.
I
But it's
love
a
it.
journey. It's a journey.
Yes. Yes. It's a journey to that person.
It
Yes.
is. It is.
Man, I want to thank you so much for, again, your story, Lydia. Again, ladies and gentlemen, there's so many great things that she said here, and we give some shout out. Is this your mama, Katia Scott?
Yes, that's
Oh, that's
her.
it. Your mama's watching. We say hello to Katia Scott, to
Hi,
Marquise, to
mom.
my twin sister, Elena. My mama, Wanda, is watching. Deanna, Brian, we give a shout out. Hey, hey out there in TV land. But if
Hello.
you are just tuning in, again, I'm serious. She dropped some great, great tips and just some real life, honest ways to get through right now and to really live and to be on the journey that is your life and the journey that is your why and the journey that
Yeah.
is your craft, your artistry, whatever that looks like. So please rewind it, listen to it a few times, and get some of these nuggets because they're really, really good. So I just thank Lydia for her voice and bringing it and sharing it with my audience. Thank you all for watching. Thank you everybody. Like it and share it.
Yeah.
Um, and then don't forget to support Lydia. As you see at the bottom, her website is there, lydiarenee.com. You can check her out. She did do her last release was Vintage Heart. So you can check that out at lydiarenee.com or at Apple, iTunes Music, Spotify. You can check out her music and see what she does. I have seen her live, ladies and gentlemen. What
Oh
was that?
yes.
Cafe? I think she was right about
Yes,
to
but
give birth.
Aretha, I have to shout you out because you be in the cut, and I'd be like, "What?" You be like, "Oh, hey, Lydia, I heard the show. It was great." And I'd be like, "You were there." She's
Yes,
in the cut.
I love to.
Supporting.
And
I have to. I have to shout her out. She is so supportive and so sweet and nice. And
I
so
love
talented. And I'll be like, "What? You were there?" Every time. I'd be like, "I have no idea you were there in the dark, in the cut."
it. Lydia is a phenomenal voice and a producer, and she really, I mean, some good stuff. And I think that was my first time hearing you live. I was like, come on.
At Tehran's show.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Toronto.
Yep. Shout out to Tehran.
But she did, what was that? You did if you don't hear nothing else, look up Lydia Renee singing Lovely Day. That's lovely. Arrangement of Lovely Day alone taste of the artistry that is this woman. But you can
Thank you.
her project Vintage Heart, and you can check out her video Feels So Nice on YouTube. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on Lydia Renee, because if you miss her music, you'll see her face and her print in the next Ulta. You miss her face in the next Walmart, Target, Ulta. She is doing things not only on the microphone, but she's also a beautiful plus size model. And you see her face with this beautiful full fro and dimples. Everybody ain't got a pretty smile and dimples, but Lydia got them.
Thank you.
So if you missed her music,
Oh my
you might
God.
see her in your next print ad,
That
in
is so
your
funny.
whatever, Walmart, Target, Ulta, whatever. Because she up and coming in both of those. And that's the beauty of having multiple streams of income. Another
Yes, it
lesson
is.
for artists watching. Get you multiple streams of income. Don't be afraid to get out there.
Yeah,
See what else you can do besides sing. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
But go check Lydia. I'm telling you, she blew me away when I did meet her the first time. And then especially at the hotel cafe where I was sitting there trying to record.
I appreciate it. I
Y'all
do.
got to hear this Lovely Day. I love this Lovely Day, but she didn't turn it on its head and sang the mess out of that and played. Again, ladies and gentlemen, she sings and for real plays. Not
Thank
no
you.
Discord. She sings and plays. So come and check Lydia Renee out. You see her website below.
Oh.
And you can, is it Lydia Renee at Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or where?
It is. If you type in Lydia Renee, you will find me. The name changes a little bit on Instagram. Instagram is at Lydia Renee with an S at the end. So Lydia Renee is somebody stole Lydia Renee. So
I get it. Trying to play with those names. Dang it, they took my names. You trying to let me put another E. Let me put an underscore. Let me put
exactly.
okay, she's Lydia Renee with one E because I got that confused. Not two
Ah!
E.
Yes, it's one
One
E.
E and an S on Instagram. Find her on YouTube. Find her on Spotify and all your Tidal and Apple and all those things. But yeah, you don't want to sleep on Lydia Renee's voice. She really, as you see, is dropping gems, but she also is an amazing songwriter and pianist and singer.
Thank
Go check
you.
her out. All right, I think I'm done. I plugged you. Yep. And we had a good conversation. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for having thanks for having me. I gotta make sure my child is okay. My husband and my child are all right.
They're like, excuse me, your time. We're gonna get off here. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to listen again. And I'll be back on next week with another wonderful, amazing mom. But tune back in again. Lydia dropped some gems today. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening. Hello to your mama Katia and my mama Wanda.
Oh yes. Shout out to the moms.
Shout out to the moms, because now that we moms, we understand. We understand.
Yeah, surely do.
We understand now. We understand the struggle. But we'll see you guys next week. Thanks again to Lydia for being a part, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye.